love for us. So we make the sign of the cross. Very basic Catholic teaching. Yet, very often our Catholics do not know. And we can also learn from the Orthodox. They have even got a better way of making the sign of the cross. We make it very colorful. Right? But for the Orthodox, this is how they make the sign. And we can use this. I use it nowadays. The thumb, the index finger, the middle finger pressed together. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, united in one God. Alright? Symbolizing our belief in the Trinity. The ring finger, little finger pressed down. Jesus is human, Jesus is divine. See, this little sign summarizes our faith. In the Trinitarian God, in Jesus, who is divine, who is human. And then the sign of God. Right? So it's very meaningful. So I do hope that when you make the sign of cross, do it properly. Right? Understand what you're doing. Not carelessly. I remember the first time I went to a Catholic church, I thought they changed when the students blind. The way they do it so careless. Oh, they didn't know they're making a sign of cross. I thought that's changing the right? Hopefully, we make it with pride, we understand. Right? So, every time you make sign of cross, it should remind you of your Christian identity. Now, this Christian identity must be lived out in our mission. Not enough for us to claim that we are Christian, we are Catholic. We have to continue the mission of Christ. Our mission flows from our identity. So we have to know our identity first before we can perform our mission. Because mission flows from identity. So it is important for us to know who we are. What does it mean to be a Christian, to be a Catholic? So that we can then carry out our Christian mission effectively, authentically. So, our Christian mission is a call to action. Hence, Jesus says, do. His two words there, do remembrance. Remembrance helps us to recall our identity. Do is a call to action. Do to continue Christ's mission. And what is our mission? To summarize it, to be Christ to the world. Or as St. Paul puts it in Galatians 2:20, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. Christ lives in me. Be convinced of it. So whatever you do, remember you are a representative of Christ in the world, so that people can recognize Christ in you. You realize that we are not drawing many people to become Christians. One of the reasons is perhaps we are not living an authentic Christian life. Once a Christian missionary asked the great Indian leader, Mahatma Gandhi, what do you think is the greatest obstacle to the spread of Christianity in India? And without hesitation, Gandhi responded, you Christians, you are the greatest obstacle to the spread of Christianity. And I think he's right, because instead of being witnesses of Christ, we become counter-witnesses. Instead of showing Christ to the world, we are preventing people, obstructing people from coming to know the love of Christ because of the way we live our life. So what Gandhi says is true, that very often we Christians are the greatest obstacle to the spread of Christianity. I remember in the parish I was serving. This man is a good man, an honest man, hardworking, who writes for the family. But the wife is a very devout Catholic, good Catholic, tried to bring up the children as best as she could to become good Catholic, but it was a tussle. Because even though the husband is a good man, he did not believe in Christianity. And the excuse, he says, why do I need to become a Christian? Now in my office, I've got a colleague who is a Catholic, who goes to church every Sunday. But in the office, he's always wasting time, he's dishonest in his work. Right? He's a scandal to the others. I am not a Christian, but honestly, I think I live a better life. So why is there a need for me to become a Christian? So that Catholic who led such a dishonest life has become a stumbling block. I think it's important for us to remember that. I know that we priests also can be the greatest stumbling block. I think yesterday's newspaper report is on in Germany, what the priest, was guilty of abusing children. And many Catholics have left the church, the Catholic Church in Germany, because of all this sex scandal caused by priests. So it is important for us, right? If we are the authentic Catholics, we are called to be witnesses of Christ. To be a witness of Christ is to be Christ to the world. See, as Paul tells us, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. Each in our own little way. Let us try to be Christ to the world. So you ask yourself, in what ways am I Christ to others? In what ways am I witnessing Christ? Or am I guilty of being a counter witness? And our sin will be grievous if we become a counter witness. Because Jesus says, if we cause scandal to others, especially to the little ones, it's better for a millstone to be tied down neck and let us be thrown into a lake. Jesus is very strong word for those who are stumbling blocks. When we become counter witness, we become stumbling blocks to others who may be seeking the truth. And because of our bad witness, we prevent others from becoming Christians. Gandhi spoke from his own experience. When he was a lawyer in South Africa, there was one stage where he wanted to become a Christian because he was scandalized by the caste system of the Hindus, the fifth class and so on. So that one way to get rid of the caste system is to Christianize India. If India becomes Christian, then the caste system can be got rid of. So he thought of becoming a Christian as a means to perhaps gradually get rid of the caste system in India. In those days, South Africa, they've got the apartheid policy, segregation of the whites and the colored. It just happened that he went. So, as I said, Gandhi wanted to become a Christian. So he went to a Christian church. Unfortunately, he didn't know about this. He went to church reserved only for the whites. So when the white Christians saw this colored fellow coming in, they told him, hey, you colored fellow, you go to the other church. It is only for whites. And Gandhi was so scandalized, said, why should I become a Christian when they also have got their own caste system? That's what I'm like. See, if only Christians did not practice, who knows? Gandhi could have become a Christian, and history could have been changed. But just because of one little incident like this, you find that history is changed. Another example, little acts like that, when you become a witness or a counter-witness, you can change the course of history. This involved an older boy. He was serving Mass. Accidentally, he broke the cruet. Cruet is the glass vessel holding the wine. Right? He broke the cruet, and the parish priest lost his temper and told him, "Get out! Don't come back! Don't let me see your face in church." And that older boy left and never came back to church. Later on, he became Marshal Tito. You know who is Marshal Tito? Your history. The dictator of Yugoslavia. After the Second World War, Tito, a communist, he became a communist. Right? And he ruled Yugoslavia as a dictator. And you know, after his death, the country broke up. There was a lot of civil unrest and so on, ethnic cleansing and so on and so on. So, because of the impatience of the priest, the course of history is changed. A similar incident took place, but with another older boy. This fellow was lucky. He also broke a cruet. But the priest was a kind man. Don't worry, boy. We can always get that one. But are you hurt? That older boy later became Archbishop Petaling. And he was the one who told the story. You see the difference? Little acts can change the course of history.